Here we are. One man, one Lincoln, one garage. It's going down. Oh yeah! One paint job. I am ready to start putting some primer on this sucker. Yeah. I got everything plasticed off that needs to be. Got my bagger bagged. And this sucker is all masked. I'm sure I'll still get overspray somewhere, but whatever. Not too worried about the bumpers getting overspray on them because they're going to need to be all stripped down anyway. So, in the other video, I said I think I'm going to hang the bumpers on there, but Fuzzy Wuzzy reminded me of something that I thought about at the beginning, but I forgot to order. Is some flex additive for the bumpers. Probably a good idea to run that, especially with these bumpers, like I said, being so big and floppy. You're probably going to want to put some flex additive in the clear and in the primer. Basically anything that's hardened, you want to put a little flex to it so it doesn't crack. I've heard the flex gives you about a month of time to move it around. After a month though, it does harden up, and it's not going to prevent your paint from cracking if you was to hit something. So if you hit something a year down the road and your bumper cracks, it's not because it didn't have flex in it. The flex wears away and eventually evaporates out of your paint, but it'll allow you to at least assemble the car without worrying about your bumpers flexing and cracking. So I'm going to do those separately. I'm going to paint the sides of the car, and then I'll do the moldings and the bumpers later on down the road. So I'm going to mix up some primer and I'm going to get to it. Most of the products I'm going to be using this time around is going to be from a company called Southern Polyurethanes Incorporated, or SPI. I've heard a lot of good things about them, and one of the tool reps that shows up at my work, he sells this stuff, so I have easy access to it, and it seems like pretty good stuff, so I'm going to try it out. I've never used it before. We'll see how it does. Pretty reasonably priced stuff too. I think a gallon of this primer was like 120, 130 bucks, somewhere in there. So not terrible for, if it's good. I mean, that's not terrible for quality paint stuff. Oh, mixing paint. It's a blast. It's a really good time. If you've never done it before, I suggest you try it. One thing I absolutely hate is that nothing comes with like a pour spout. It's always a real challenge to get this out of here. So you want to mix it up 4 to 1. So 4 parts paint to 1 part activator. Oh yeah, this is the fun part. Whoop! That's probably borderline too much. That's borderline too much. I'm going to take a little out of there. So basically, for a gallon of primer, you need to mix in a quart of activator for all you mathematicians out there. Boom. There it is. I mean, it seems like a lot of material, but I mean, we are spraying 2 whole sides of a Lincoln Town car, so about 2 quarts, about a half gallon of primer. I might end up needing more, I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot of material though. I got 2 gallons of Intercoat clear, which is what you use to mix in the flake. And I got 2 gallons of regular clear. But I only have a gallon of primer and a gallon of sealer, so hopefully that'll be enough. Cup's a little dirty. I bought some disposable liners that I can run, which those suckers aren't cheap. They go inside of this. If you're a painter, you've seen this before. And it allows you to put a liner inside of there that you can just throw away instead of having to clean out your aluminum cups. But the liners are like $2 a piece with my discount from work. They're normally almost $4 a piece, which is insane. But of course, this cup doesn't fit that gun, so I got to get a little adapter to be able to run that. But I'll get the adapter before I start spraying anything too critical. I have a really bad habit of not tightening up my fluid tip after I clean the gun for the last time. And then I forget that it's not tight and load it up with fluid and it pours everywhere. But I tightened it last time. So I'm gonna suit up, get probably 3 or 4 coats of primer on this whole thing. And then we'll let it dry overnight. Might even let it sit a couple days and then come back through and block sand it. But I'm not going to film spraying because it's just nasty stuff and it's hard to. It doesn't look cool. It's just me doing that. So I'll be back when it's painted. That's right. Primed. Optimus primed. Terrible joke. It's got about 3 coats of primer on it. This was some thick primer. I did not have the gun set up for this primer. I ended up having to thin it down a little bit, but you hear that? Oh yeah, she sprayed on real rough. Almost like a bed liner. Whatever, it's on there. So now I'm going to go through and block sand the entire car again and get it smooth. I've already started over here. Get it smoothed down. Feeling good again. And then I'm gonna put some black sealer on this thing and throw some flake down. That's really all we got left. Sand it, black it, flake it, and then we let it sit. Then I can move on to the bumpers. Same thing, sanding an X, just like you did body work. Gonna spend the next 16 hours or so sanding on this thing. And when it's all blocked out, looking good, I'll turn the camera back on. But you don't want to see this for 16 hours. I got some Go Juice. Pull an all-nighter if I have to. Ain't happening. And if you heard the country on the radio and was like, why is this dude listening to country while he's working on his lowrider? It's because I'm a white guy and I live in Iowa. There it is. Block sanded. Got a little bit in me. Probably should wear a respirator for that. I didn't. I'm feeling it. But there it is. Straight as an arrow. Whatever. It's going to be so flaked out, you're not going to be able to tell the imperfections. I'm going to let that sit overnight. Come back at it tomorrow. Hopefully be able to lay the black sealer on there, and then a few coats of flake, and then a few coats of clear coats. Lots of coats tomorrow. That's the plan. Get this thing cleaned off a little bit. It really gets pretty dusty. Okay. If you're the white tee and Jordans fella, probably isn't the hobby for you to start taking on, because you'll look like this more often than you want to. So, blocked out. It's 3 a.m. I'm going to bed. See ya.